All right, so welcome back to this week's webinar. My name is Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. Today we're talking about the importance of budgeting and forecasting as part of your multifamily process. But before we start, if you'd like, make sure you go down there, hit that follow button so you're alerted each and every time we have our weekly webinar come out each and every Thursday. Again, I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. We're a multifamily investment firm here in Tennessee, focused on buying multifamily assets in the Southeast and budgeting and forecasting. This is a very important part of your process because it really gets back to your business plan. You are creating a business plan. This is what you are doing when you're buying multifamily properties. You are going in there with the intention to do some strategic improvement so you can get value from those improvements, along with getting value over to your investors for these improvements. However, you have to look at your budgeting and your forecasting as part of that process. What this is going to do is going to set the stage of how you foresee the implementation of this business plan going forward. So this can be everything for budgeting your allocation of your capital expenditures and your renovations, to your forecasting of your rent growth and also your expense growth. As you look at this, this is an important factor because one, you're setting the stage for how you are seeking the performance of the property to go into the future, and two, you are going to have something that you can track against to understand where things are going well and where you're off kilter from your original business plan. So as you do this, it's very important to have these meetings, and as you go through this, you should be tracking this month and month as you start out. It may move to quarterly as the property becomes stabilized, but it's very important metrics so you can understand, am I hitting my numbers? Am I hitting my metrics? Am I hitting my rent growth expectations? Am I having more vacancy than I predetermined at the start? Are my expenses in line with my expectations? Are we completing our capital expenditures and doing our construction in line with the process, with the focus of our budget? All very important measures for you to focus on here, and it gives you a good guide of how your property is performing based on your expectations and based on the expectations that you set forth for your investors. So understanding where you are with this process can be massively important. So how do you set this out? Well, you can do this in many formats, and there's a few ways to look at this. Is that you are doing quarterly budgets, doing yearly budgets, and you're doing a 5-year forecasting, right? So the budget that trends out, we have budget meetings with our property management companies coming into the new year to set expectations for how we finished and now how we are looking for the new year coming. What this allows us to do is to understand what pieces of the puzzle really may need attention. There may be certain things that are driving the property that weren't intended to. Maybe utilities are running higher than expected, or we're carrying more of a payroll because we needed to, or in fact, we have a payroll that now can start to be pulled back because the property is going to be stabilized, or our rent growth are actually outperforming our expectations, so we're able to maybe pull back on marketing or set marketing to a different level because we're having a ton of organic traffic on the property. So looking at all these items gives you a true indication of how your property is performing and allows you to look forward and understand the opportunistic plan for which can happen in the future. Now, when you do look at this, you do want to have variances and deltas because everything is not going to happen to the dollar. So you want to have your upside, your downside, and your base side of where your expectations are. But the closer you can get to that mean, to have a true budget, the better your properties continue to perform, the better you will be as an operator, the better you will have a relationship with your property management company because it will set true expectations for where you should go on these properties and then gives you mile markers to hit along the way. All right, so if you like what you hear, make sure you go down and hit that follow button. My name is Jason Yarusi at Yarusi Holdings. Find us at yarusiholdings.com. Find me on Instagram, Jason Yarusi. Thank you so much for checking out this week's weekly webinar and budgeting and forecasting for your multifamily properties. Let's do this.